get another mic.
Okay.
Thank
you, Maggie. Thanks for coming, everybody. Welcome. I love Vidiots so much. It's everything I love under one roof. It's a movie theater, it's physical media, it's Maggie. And I'm so thrilled to be screening a movie that I have never seen projected before. So this is a treat for me. Alfred Hitchcock's 1948 Rope. Which is a fascinating film in a lot of ways. Obviously, the thing that everybody talks about is the technical experiment of it all. He wanted to do as close as he could do a one-take movie with the technology of 1948, where you have to change the film in the camera. So these takes go on and on and on, and then you zoom into somebody's back, and we switch reels, and they keep going. Nowadays, you could just be Russian Ark or be Victoria or whatever, and do it digitally and never have to stop. But they had to stop. But nonetheless, they kept it tight. This was his first color film. This was his first collaboration with Jimmy Stewart, which would obviously prove to be fruitful for both of them. But it's also arguably his queerest movie, and that's saying a lot. One of the recurring things in Hollywood Pride is it's a chronological history, and throughout the decades, Hitchcock's just always gaying it up. You could go all the way back to the two cricket fans in Strangers on a Train, on The Lady Vanishes, rather. Strangers on a Train is another very gay movie from him. You have the cross-dressing circus person who's a killer in one of the early films. You have Ivor Novello, playing somebody who may or may not be a serial killer in The Lodger. You have Martin Landau in North by Northwest. You have, all the way to Norman Bates and beyond. So Hitchcock just liked to play with this stuff and see what he could get away with. And he got away with a lot, especially, you look at this movie and it's like, well, we know it's kind of about Leopold and Loeb, and we know it's about these two very well-dressed gentlemen in a very fancy apartment. And Arthur Lawrence wrote the screenplay, and he was living with Farley Granger at the time, so he knew what movie they were making. And he claimed Hitchcock knew what movie they were making, but he was never going to tell anybody what movie they were making. And apparently, only Jimmy Stewart didn't know what movie they were making. But he's good too, and kind of a bitch. So, this character, he might not have known he was playing, doing a queer project, but, it's in there anyway. So yeah, this movie is just kind of fascinating for, yes, obviously the technical prowess of these long takes and everybody having to do this basically like a play, in that you flub a line or you bump into the furniture, we have to start this part over again. And I think that kind of adds to the claustrophobia, because you never leave this apartment, and one guy never leaves an armoire, and
it's not a spoiler alert.
Yeah,
don't worry.
You will find this out very early on. And so I think it's incredibly successful in that way, and I think to look at this as a film that came out when the production code was very much running the show in Hollywood, how much queerness there is in this movie is pretty amazing. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out just for the camera movement, the fact that the way that the sun is setting outside of the gorgeous windows of this amazing apartment, and the marvelously twitchy performances of both Farley Granger and John Dall as the guys who are literally trying to get away with murder. Thank you all for being here. This is a treat. I'm so glad to be doing a program here. And I will be signing books in the lobby afterwards. Thank you to North Figueroa Books for setting us up for that. So I hope you'll stop by and grab a copy. I've talked to some folks who listen to various podcasts that I do. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks to all of you for coming out today. Enjoy Rope.
Yeah.